All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And I want to title this one, Through the Spirit, Jake is getting ready to get mowed down. All right. And it said, this is a video based upon this article. It says, video shows armed residents defending luxurious home from Black Lives Matter mob. All right, you just see two devils, all right, turning to the sword when things don't go their way. And that's really all these Edomites. They about to get physical with you, Jakes. They not playing. All right. What they see on the news is that you Jakes, when you come around, that means trouble. Trouble for the community. All right. And they not having it. Now it says viral video. When I say Edomites, all right, let me just, get the terms clear now for whoever is new. Edomites, Esau is the so-called white man. You Jakes are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the true children of Israel. Okay? Written of in the scriptures. And why is that important? Because there's a war going on for your life. All right? And if you don't turn back to your power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, you're going to get caught up in this war and you're going to die. You're going to die a grievous death. Okay? So it says viral video captured the moment a St. Louis couple armed themselves and defended their home from a Black Lives Matter mob that had enforced their way into the gated community. A St. Louis couple, I just played a video. Across that, if they would have walked them stairs, they would have got mowed down, and they would have got away with it. Shit, Esau shoot you with your hands up. How much more when he think that when he sees that he's outnumbered, he's gonna let loose. So it says look, it says while the media initially attempted to suggest that the couple were threatening peaceful protesters, that narrative soon collapsed. They didn't march past. That's fake news. They marched through a gate into private property past a big sign that said no trespassing. Followers, the just passing narrative will be strong tomorrow. Expose it wherever you see it. Let me see. It says in this live stream footage, you can clearly see the St. Louis Black Lives Matter mob entered through the gate to a private community. This was not a public sidewalk. Look, Jake still marching when he saw. Jake still marching when he saw either. That must be the sign.
Alright, y'all see he got a gun and shit.
Yeah, you saw him fucking playing with them Jakes. Jake's like, he got a gun and shit, yup. And he was willing to use it.
Y'all see, on my live feed, he got his rifle. Y'all can see.
I don't know if brothers can hear. I'm gonna try
He does have a weapon.
Look,
he does have a weapon. As y'all can see.
Now they trespassing, they've been warned. Alright, so it says the couple were identified as attorneys Mark and Patricia McCloskey. They were quickly doxxed and subjected to threats on Twitter, leading to some publications. Others found that the couple have donated to both major political parties over the years, disappointing the mob that was sure they were staunch Republicans. All right, whatever. So you see, it's different videos just going back and forth showing I guess the march, the Black Lives Matter march, and okay, these are different places where they stopped at. I guess over there, yeah, over there in St. Louis. But the point of this video is that them devils is not playing. You know, they not smiling. They ready to fucking shoot you and not think twice about it. And best believe, you know, they'll go to sleep like nothing happened. They knock you off, and they'll get off. They'll get off too, because they're lawyers. You know, but hey, you Jakes are getting ready to get mowed down. All right, so this is so like yeah, I want to get a precept, but let me bring out these articles, and you'll see in a minute why I want to bring them out. Slocky, let me take these off. Okay. So under Rex 84, all right, which I'm just gonna read a little bit of it. It says Rex 84, short for Readiness Exercise 1984, was a classified scenario and drill developed by the United States federal government to detain large numbers of United States citizens deemed to be national security threats. Now, if you look over there in Chicago, I believe they implemented the National Guards because it was, you know, a lot of looting, rioting, stealing. So they were deemed as national security threats. All right. In the event that the president declared a national emergency, the plan was first revealed in detail in a major. I'll just read through. It says the plan was first revealed in detail in a major daily newspaper by reporter Alfonso Chardy in July 5th, 1987 edition of the Miami Herald. Possible reasons for such a roundup were reported to be widespread opposition to a U.S. military invasion abroad, such as if the United States were to directly invade Central America. To combat what the government perceived as subversive activities, the plan also authorized the military to direct ordered movements of civilian populations at state and regional levels, according to Professor Diana Reynolds. Existence of a master military contingency plans, of which Rex 84 was a part, Garden Plot, and similar earlier exercises, Lantern Spike, were originally revealed by journalist Ron Rittenhauer, who summarized his findings in an article in the Counter Spy. Now, let's look up the Garden Plot. So it says Garden Plot. The Department of Defense Civil Disturbance Plan, also known by its cryptonym Garden Plot, was a general U.S. Army and National Guard plan to respond to major domestic civil disturbances within the United States. All right, now these Black Lives Matter violent protests throughout the United States, you know, that's considered what? Civil disturbance. The plan was developed in response to the civil disorder of the 1960s and fell under the control of the U.S. Northern Command, NORTHCOM. It provided federal military and law enforcement assistance to local governments during times of major civil disturbances. The Garden Plot plan, drafted after Watts, Newark, and Detroit riots, in which these riots started because of the same reasons. Jake was brutally getting shot down, tased to death, shot down, beat to death, you name it. Okay, which goes to show you that according to Psalms 84, let me just grab that. These devils are confederate together against you. All right, against who? Against you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, nothing has changed. I think it's I always forget that precept. Psalms 83 and 1, a song or psalm of Asaph, Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. All right, what's that word? Tumult is a growl, a roar, a rage. Okay, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. The word crafty means what? To be subtle, shrewd. All right, to be subtle and shrewd against thy people, and consulted against thine hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So what's happening now, as it happened back during the what? The Watts riots, the Newark riots, the Detroit riots, is Esau is stirring the Lord's hidden ones up, the Lord's people up, so that he can in turn bring in the National Guard, the U.S. Army, and shoot you Jakes down. And along with that, guess what? These Edomites, these so-called white people, are going to shoot you down as well. It's going to be all out open fire upon a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. It says, drafted after the Watts, Newark, and Detroit riots, captures the acrimonious times when the document was drawn up. The plot warns against racial unrest as well as anti-draft and anti-Vietnam elements. The Pentagon activated Garden Plot to restore order during the 1992 Los Angeles riots. Garden Plot was superseded by U.S. Northcom Concept Plan. Following the September 11th 01 attacks of the United States on the Homeland Security restructuring, it has been suggested that similar models be followed. So it says, oversight of these Homeland Security missions shall be provided by the National Guard Bureau, based on the long-standing Garden Plot model, in which National Guard units are trained and equipped to support civil authorities in crowd control and civil disturbance missions. Now I want to go into COINTELPRO. So you see, when you go to Reg 84, you look that up. These are all the other names that, you know, Esau, these are all the other legislations that cause the head to what lift up themselves, that cause these governments to lift up themselves and start putting you jakes to death. The COINTELPRO, FEMA, Maine Corps, Mario boat lift, no fly list. Okay. So let's look this up, the COINTELPRO. So it says the COINTELPRO, derived from counterintelligence program 1956 to 1979 and beyond, is a series of covert and illegal projects conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting American political organizations. FBI records, which that's I just keep going. FBI records show that COINTELPRO resources targeted groups and individuals that the FBI deemed subversive, like, what's that word, subversive? It says refers to a process by which the values and principles of a system in place are contradicted or reversed in an attempt to transform the established social order in a structure of power, authority, hierarchy, and social norms. You know? So how, for example, how we push that A homosexual should be put to death, but according to the social norms and the ways of this world, you give them rights. All right, so us as Hebrew Israelites will be deemed as a what subversive organization, including feminist organizations, the Communist Party USA, anti-Vietnam War organizations, sounds like Rex 84, sounds like Garden Plot, activists of the civil rights movement or Black Power movement. Okay, and now when you look into the Black Lives Matter, right? Just just looked up BLM, and under this article it says what we believe. So it says 4 years ago, what is now known as the Black Lives Matter Global Network began to organize. It started out as a chapter-based member-led organization whose mission was to build local power and to intervene when violence was inflicted on black communities by the state and vigilantes. In the years since, we've committed to struggling together into imagining and creating a world free of anti-blackness where every black person has the social, economic, and political power to thrive. So Black Lives Matter, okay, Black Panthers, what does it say? The Nation of Islam, the Black Panther Party, that's all considered, um, you know, hey, that's all going to be considered that they're being surveillance, they're being infiltrated, discredited, and ultimately they're going to be pushed as the problem, in which case Esau is going to push his COINTELPRO, all right, the Rex 84 as we just went into, to implement what? Martial law and open fire upon you jakes. And this is why we tell you jakes to get out of that shit. That's not the way. All right, the scriptures say that's the scriptures speak about how broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. All right, but that's not the way, man. Martin Luther King, hey, you see what I led him. Malcolm X, that you see what I led him. All right, and you walking down the same path, the path, all right, that leads to you getting shot up. Okay, so this is Job chapter 14:1. It says, man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. And that's literal, because yeah, we're all born of a woman, but a man that is, follows after his mother's footsteps. He's effeminized, he's emotional, he can't make decisions. All right, he makes decisions based off of emotions instead of facts and rationality. He's a few days and full of trouble. All right, this is why a lot of jakes end up in jail. A lot of jakes that grow up under their mom, they end up in jail, or they end up what did. He cometh forth as like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. And that's the same, you can, transfer that over to jakes that's following in these Black Lives Matter. Because when you look it up, let me see if it goes into it. Black Lives Matter actually was started by 3 so-called black women. Let's look that up. Who started Black Lives Matter? You see? So there was 3 women who started Black Lives Matter. Alicia Garza, Patrice Colors, and Opal Tometi. It says they created a black-centered political will and movement building project called Black Lives Matter. It was in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman. You see? So you following these black demons, well, you're going to get cut down. He is cut down, all right? He is circumcised but come clipped. You see? So the Most High is going to allow the sword. He going to allow the sword to do the clipping, man. You know? He's going to cut off. Hey, the Most High is literally going to cut off. He's going to circumcise that fat. You Israelites, that fat 2/3. All right? So you keep following this Black Lives Matter. You're going to see what I get you. It's going to get you. It's going to get you deaf. Let's actually grab that. Matthew 7:13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Alright, so if you're not coming in the way of being spiritual, alright, waiting on the Heavenly Father, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, as it says in Zephaniah 3:8. Alright, because Yahweh is going to send his son Yahweh Shai, which we say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to come save us. Alright. That's why it goes on to say, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Because for majority of the world, they think this is the way. Alright, let's march, let's get physical, let's break stuff, and then they'll respect us. The only thing that's going to do is push you out there as the problem, instead of, push you out there as more of the problem, to where the world sees, well, maybe it's good that the police is shooting you niggas off, knocking you niggas off. It says the project is now a member-led global network of more than 40 chapters. Our members, you see, that's the spirit. Broad is the way that leads to destruction. Our members organize and build local power to intervene in violence inflicted on black communities by the state and vigilantes. Black Lives Matter is an ideological and political intervention in a world where black lives are systematically and intentionally targeted for demise. We just read that. Psalms 84, Psalms 83. It is an affirmation of black folks' humanity, our contributions to the society, and our resilience in the face of deadly oppression. Okay, and this is going to continue to go, man. Because even before, when these women were, I'm not even going to call them women, when these when these beasts were born. When these beasts were born, Esau already had it on the ropes that he wanted to knock you niggas off. And if you try to get together and think you're going to stand up, hey, it's already written that we just going to knock you niggas off. All right? And hey, the scripture say judgment shall begin at the house of Israel. And as you go into this COINTELPRO, it shows you that judgment, once they go into the Ku Klux Klan, but ultimately it was you tribes, the Puerto Rican independence movement, American Indian movement. Come on, man. All you tribes, young lords. Okay? So you tribes is number one on Esau's hit list. Alright, this is Sirach 16:1, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 16 verse 1. It says, desire not. Look up the word desire. A strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Okay, so it says desire not a multitude of unprofitable children. All right. So to say, that's like saying, I wish somebody would come and shoot these devils down. Not to desire that, because the Most High is going to come and handle the situation. But you desiring, a Martin Luther King, or a Black Lives Matter movement, or Jesse Jackson to do the trick, hey, you going off. Neither delight in ungodly sons. Because ungodly sons, as we just read in Job 14:2, hey, they come forth, they they rise as a flower and are cut down. Let's grab that again. What happens to the multitude of ungodly sons? It says he cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. All right, because the shadow is here 1 second and then the next is not. It says, trust not thou, reading Sirach 16:2, though they multiply, rejoice not in them, except the fear of the Lord be with them. Trust not in their life, neither respect their multitude. For one that is just is better than 1,000, and better is it to die without children than to have them that are ungodly. For by one that have understanding shall the city be replenished. Because most of these groups are about numbers. These Black Lives Matters, even these false Israelites, which they call themselves Israelites, but they moving under the same spirit under Black Lives Matter. Let's get up guns and get carnal. And better is it to die without children. Slakia. Verse 4, for by one that have understanding shall the city be replenished, but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate. Many such things have I seen with my eyes, and my ears have heard greater things than these. In the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. You see? And hey, it's only one way that the Lord wants this to be done. Alright, I'll probably just grab this and finish it out. There's only one way that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua wants this to be done. And as the scriptures say, I've set forth the apostles last, as it were appointed to death. But hey, the apostles, the ones who he sent forth to what? Preach this word, as the scriptures say in 2 Thessalonians, that I will destroy them with the spirit of my mouth. What's the words? What's the Lord's mouth? These scriptures. I believe that's in second Ezra 16:3 or Amos 3, one of the two. How it says that the Lord have spoken, who can but prophesy? So this is Acts chapter 5. Acts chapter 5, verse 35. Actually, I started 34. Then stood there up one of the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theudius, boasting himself to be somebody. I got this. I'm the way the way we gonna do it. See, we got a better plan. You know what I'm saying? The way we gonna do it, it's gonna make a difference. To whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. Now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. Let the men of the Lord do what they got to do. For if this counsel of this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against God. So, hey man, if you think about joining that Black Lives Matter, that's not of the Lord. You know, you want to do what the Lord says, because at the end of the day, the Lord's word is going to prevail. All right, Job 12 tells you that. All right, what is that? First Samuel 2. Isaiah, he killeth and he maketh alive. I forgot what I said. That's in the book of Isaiah. Okay, so hey man, let the prophets handle this. Through the Spirit. And with that, shalom to the elect.